Hey guys, I'm Rainy Younger, and this is another episode of Under the Radar, where we talk all things film. And with me tonight, as always, I have a wonderful panel of guest critics. We have Mr. CJ Oakland. It's been a while, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you again. And also, long time no see, Mr. Forrest Bennett. Welcome, sir. Welcome back.
Hey, always a pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah, this is great. This is like very nostalgic right now. I'm a little giddy, actually.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So this is awesome. So guys, we have a big show tonight. And before we get into the nitty gritty, I just want to acknowledge something that happened today. Earlier today, we lost a member of the comedy community. Mr. Norm Macdonald has sadly passed away at the age of 61 due to cancer. He was a very unique voice in the comedic arts. Obviously, we know him from SNL and his various film appearances, such as Half Baked, Dirty Work, numerous supporting roles, and
Billy Madison.
Thank you. And just one of the more interesting voices on SNL. You know, Burt Reynolds on Celebrity Jeopardy comes to mind.
Weekend Update.
Yep, he was the anchor of Weekend Update, and he was so funny and so deadpan, and he was, really, it's a real shock, and it's a loss to the community, the entertainment community. CJ, what were your thoughts on Norm Macdonald's career?
Well, I only just found out about this like right before the show happened because I was on Twitter and I said, a lot of people are really like retweeting a lot of Norm Macdonald comedy bits. I wonder if something happened. And I'm like, oh, wait, no.
Oh,
yeah. And then I kind of came together. But
Yeah.
like you said, he has some of the best deadpan humor. Like it was always great to see him in a movie. I think one of my favorite bits that I always think of with Norm Macdonald was, I'm pretty sure it was Dirty Work, but it's like him and his buddy get into a fight at a bar with like a bunch of other guys. And it's like, looks like we're going to have a brawl. And Norm Macdonald just goes, great. Can I be on their side? And then I think it cuts to him being thrown out a window. And it's like, it's really good comedic timing.
I was just watching that earlier. For me, that is that movie. Ever since I was 11 years old, I thought that movie was an unsung masterpiece for both him and for Bob Saget.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was 11 when I just saw it on Comedy Central. So
Yeah, I think I remember him. He was on SNL, like what, mid to late 90s?
Mid to late 90s.
Yeah, and at first, as a young kid, I might have been 11 or 12. His humor didn't really, it didn't resonate with me. But later on in life, I would see movies like Half Baked, and he was just so good, so different, and it was really nice to see whenever you would see him. So it's a terrible thing, but the bright side is we get a wonderful legacy of great comedy. So Mr. Macdonald, rest in peace. So
Yep.
Thank you for all the laughs. That's awesome. The laughs, I mean. All right, guys. So I just want to go around now to do weekly watches. Basically, what are we watching this week that's not reviewed on this show? Forrest.
All right, lately I've been watching Only Murders in the Building on Hulu with Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez.
I watched the first episode. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is, and it's such a weird weird addition to have Selena Gomez with these two, older comedic giants. But their chemistry works really well, I think.
I was gonna say 2/3 of the Three Amigos.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to put up with Chevy Chase anymore.
Unless it's revealed Chevy Chase is the killer all along.
Oh,
I'd be
my
interested
God.
in what he's coming.
That would be insane. I need to keep watching. I really do. I'm only like an episode or two in, but so far so good. CJ, what are you watching these days?
Well, yesterday I binge watched the entirety of Brand New Cherry Flavor. Is like a horror drama they kind of have on Netflix. It has Rosa Salazar, where she's like an aspiring director who takes her like short film to meet a producer, and then when he steals a project from her, she hires a witch to put a curse on him, and everything goes insane. It's a lot of great body horror. I love the special effects are great. It really kind of reminds me of like older like Videodrome kind of stuff. Like that kind of like old school horror, and it worked very well with it.
How can you see this show? It sounds amazing.
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's 8 episodes. It's a limited series, so I don't think there's going to be a season 2, but it was really good for what it was. I loved all of the acting.
And what's the title again?
It's called Brand New Cherry Flavor.
Okay, I'm going to add that to the list. I also started watching Ted Lasso because apparently everybody else on the planet is watching the show.
I have not seen that one
Not
yet.
me yet.
Yeah, I think it's gotten some awards so far, and it's gotten a lot of buzz. It's very popular with a few of the critics who have been on this show. So I was curious. I've been told very good things, and so far it's pretty good. Jason Sudeikis, he's decent. I'm not a huge fan. I loved Where the Millers or Meet the Millers. I forget what it's called.
We're the Millers.
Where the Millers was it kind of that changed my opinion of him. Like I kind of respected him after that. So I'm gonna keep watching Ted Lasso because I'm hoping it gets better. But so far it's not a bad watch. So, also guys, I wanted to mention that I finally finished. I meant to have mentioned this last week that I finally finished Glow, all 3 seasons.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, that's great. I love that. I love that show. I wish it was they were able to continue it.
I know. Due to COVID, it was short. It's a shame. I'm really hoping that they bring this cast and crew together again in the future because it's just a really special show, and I'm really glad it's just one of those shows that makes you feel good. It's a really positive, uplifting show. It's funny. It's sincere. The acting is fantastic. Some of the best I've seen on television in quite some time.
Yeah, the actresses are all great, and Mark Maron's always a class act.
Betty Gilbert too.
Yeah, I even started. I'm a few episodes, and I know he's done a bunch of the episodes of his podcast. But if you guys haven't listened to it, it's great. He has some really great guests. He had Barack Obama on. He had Danny Elfman on. Very like eclectic mix of guests, and yeah, it's really great. And he's just so funny and very like laid back and
he doesn't encourage his listeners to inject themselves with horse warmers.
I mean, yeah, that's always a plus in a podcast,
Of course. So yeah, guys, check out Mark Maron's What the F podcast, and it's just a lot of fun. So okay. Oh, also, Forrest, I'm ashamed to admit this, but Forrest brought this to my attention. I think yesterday.
This afternoon.
This afternoon. I'm so I'm blushing right now. The 35th anniversary of the Real Ghostbusters cartoon was yesterday, and also the 35th anniversary of Pee-wee's Playhouse, right, Forrest?
Yep. Yes, two of the biggest movies of the mid '80s made the jump from the big screen to Saturday mornings 35 years ago this week.
That's the same exact day.
They both premiered September 13th, 1986.
That's crazy. Oh my God, I'm getting chills because
and you were pointing out earlier today that today was the 30th anniversary of the Back to the Future cartoon.
Yep.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I will admit, I thought to me that it focused too much on Doc's kids, not enough on Marty and Doc for my liking.
Agreed. It was really the Jules and Verne show, basically. And I know you wanted like a sequel to Back to the Future 3, right?
Who didn't?
Yeah. So you know what? As a kid, it was like 1991. I was
91.
I was about maybe 5 or 6, and
I was 4.
I was just thrilled to see the Back to the Future universe being continued in some, fashion.
Yeah. I will say though that one thing in its favor is that it kickstarted Bill Nye's career.
That's true. He did the little the bumpers, like the
educational segments with Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah. I wonder if Zemeckis was involved at all in the show. Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Probably not, I'd imagine, but I don't know.
I feel like if either him or Spielberg were involved, it was in name only.
True. And of course, Bob Gale. Let's not forget him.
Of course.
So, okay. So yeah, 30 years ago. Way to feel old.
It's quite a week. Yeah, this has been quite a week for popular 80s movies making the jump to Saturday mornings.
I love it. If only Saturday mornings were that great now.
Yeah.
But we definitely have the memories. And you know what?
For me, I still watch Saturday morning cartoons, but now I do it more a la carte, where I where I go with whatever I have on either DVD or streaming and make my own lineups.
You know what? I'm going to do that when I have kids. I'll probably do it this weekend. Who knows? But when I have kids, I'm going to have all the DVDs of all my favorite cartoons, and probably not wake up as early as I did when I was a young kid. But
I mean, I wake up at 9 on Saturdays usually. So
we'll do like a Saturday afternoon kind of movie cartoon marathon. But it's okay. It's something to consider in the future. Okay, guys. So, also, I want to mention this. If you want a really good laugh, I recommend Robert Schimel. He was a comedian in the 90s and I think early 2000s. He passed away, but very raunchy kind of toilet humor. He's been on Howard Stern. He's had a number of HBO specials. And I've just been, when I have some free time, just go on YouTube and listen to some of his bits. Really, really funny. Robert Schimel. Check that out. I recommend him highly. So, okay, guys. So I think we should get into our first review of the evening. We've got 3 of them, folks. So this is going to be fun. First one is The Card Counter. And this is a crime drama thriller written and directed by Paul Schrader, best known for Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. I believe he wrote Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. It's a writer-director on this film. And it stars Oscar Isaac as a former soldier interrogator who basically becomes a gambler, a card player, mostly blackjack, and uses his skills as an interrogator in his card playing. And basically this film follows him in his adventures in, I believe it's Atlantic City. And he meets a young man who wants to get revenge on one of their mutual acquaintances. We also have Tiffany Haddish in actually a pretty decent role. She surprised me with her acting chops here. She sort of plays the love interest in this, also involved in the card playing universe. We've also got the young man who wants revenge actually is Ty Sheridan of Ready Player One. He was also in the Night Clerk. CJ, did you guys review that with me?
Yeah, and I put it as my worst, as the worst movie.
That one, oh, it was. Yeah, that was that was a really bad movie.
Yeah, and also Cyclops in the last couple X-Men movies.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's an okay actor. I'm still waiting for his breakout role. He hasn't really impressed me yet, but he has potential.
I feel like he's the actor I keep thinking is Miles Teller the first time I see him. He hasn't kind of gotten beyond that yet.
No, I get him in Ansel Elgort.
Yeah. This movie started and it showed up and I'm like, wow, Miles Teller looks young. Did they film this a while ago or something? that was literally my thought.
Yeah, they're all these they're just a tall, good-looking white guy, and it works. He's decent. Oh, and also we've got Willem Dafoe in a very small role. Definitely wanted more of him in the movie. He's fantastic. So also, guys, this is executive produced by Martin Scorsese, who obviously the connection with Paul Schrader.
Yep.
I like the movie. I thought it was pretty good, pretty okay. I love Oscar Isaac and pretty much everything he's done. A Most Violent Year, Drive, even the Star Wars movies to some extent.
Agreed. And also, I should say Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so he's currently the voice of Gomez Adams in the animated Adams Family movies, which I feel like was a missed opportunity. But I feel like making them animated was a missed opportunity because he would be a perfect live action Gomez.
He looks just like him. I totally agree with you on that one. Maybe they'll do a live action sequel or a reboot somehow. I don't know what.
Yeah, I think they're going to be doing a live action series on Netflix with Luis Guzman in the role.
Okay.
But no, I think, although I guess the one role I really didn't really care for, and this was not his fault, was X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh yeah, he was Apocalypse, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I missed that one, but I've heard terrible things.
You can't really blame him for that one. That was a very poorly written movie.
Yeah, and they made him look like Ivan Ooze from Power Rangers.
They did.
Oh God.
Rather than Apocalypse.
The imagery in my head right now is kind of, yeah. I don't know if I like that idea, but CJ, what were your thoughts on the card counter?
I enjoyed it. Like, it's a very slow movie is the thing that I think I would warn people going in is like, it's like, there is the aspect of like, there's him meeting Ty Sheridan and they want to have revenge on someone, but like, that's such a slow burn element to the movie where like, it barely comes up. It's something you're just kind of reminded is there like under the surface, but most of the movie is just this guy who's a former torturer for the army, right, who then gets sent to jail for a time, learns card counting, and comes out now as a professional gambler, counting cards and just trying to make like a small living for himself. And then changes everything when he's trying to help this young man's life and earn enough money to see if he can stop him from wanting to get revenge and throwing his life away. So I like that aspect. It was very interesting. And I enjoyed all the scenes, but it's like it feels like such a longer movie than it is just because it has such a slow, methodical pace to it, which isn't a bad thing in general. It felt like I watched like 4 episodes of like a Netflix show.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like a 2-hour movie. It felt twice as long as it was.
Yeah, it definitely dragged a bit here and there, and there's not a lot of action. It's really more about the human element, the human drama. And like I said, I love Oscar Isaac. I could pretty much see him in anything, and I'll be entertained. And this movie is really, it just focuses on the relationships and the tension. And I think this film succeeded in delivering that sense of, urgency and tension. So I mean, I liked it a lot. I didn't love it. I think this is a type of film. There's a lot of movies that I say is about that requires repeat viewings. I think this is one of those films.
Agreed.
I think this is one of those movies where like 10 years from now we'll go like, oh, you know what I haven't seen in a while? The card counter. And I'll watch and go like, okay, that was good. And then I might not touch it again for another 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that.
I don't know. Maybe I feel like this could be another Heat where it's like actually a really good movie, but I don't know if it'll be like on the radar of any major awards organization.
I could see some nominations from Isaac and Haddish. Maybe Paul Schrader's screenplay, but it's a very quiet film, so there's not a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky movie because I don't know, it has a lot going for it.
But very well done, but I don't know. I don't know if like in 3 months from now, the Academy, this movie's going to be on the Academy's radar.
It's possible.
Yeah, because it's a good movie, but I feel like there's nothing that kind of pushes it into like gray territory where like there's no standout scenes I remember. It's all like every scene is pretty good for like what it is, and all the actors do a good job. But it's like even Oscar Isaac, like I love him, but it's like he plays kind of the typical brooding guy with a dark past, who's very soft-spoken. It's like it's basically him and like the guy from Drive, and it's like there's 50 movies with the same kind of protagonist. So like he does a good job with it. It feels like it's not a role I'm gonna really remember him for when we're like listing out great things Oscar Isaac has done.
Are you guys have you followed Paul Schrader's work at all?
I mean the Martin Scorsese stuff definitely. I was also Cat People, which he directed.
Oh, I didn't know he directed that one.
Yep.
Huh. That was an 80s horror film, right? About
with Natasha Kinski and Malcolm McDowell and the late John Hurd.
Were they actually, or is it a spoiler if they're actually cats or
they were cats?
They were cats.
Yeah.
No, I said were cats, like
Not
Like
they were cats, they're werecats.
like Michael Jackson in the Thriller music video.
Yes.
Okay.
But better. Like the horror works really well in that movie. Like there's a few. It's a goofy horror movie. There's a few really good scenes though. I like some of the special effects.
Okay.
I do like it's a remake of the original from the 30s, the Cat People.
Or 40s.
40s, yeah, you're right, 40s.
Wow.
I always
Wow.
get it wrong. But it's actually that movie is famous because it gave us the thing where when someone hears a sound where you think it's one thing and it's like it sounds like an animal about to attack someone, but then it's a bus pulling up. And every time it's like a horror movie pulls that where you think like it's one thing, but then it's just a cat jumping up, they call the Luden bus after the director. And like I love the movie just for that.
So, all right, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check out both versions of Cat People. It sounds really cool. Surprised I haven't seen it already, but cool. So yeah, again, I wanted to love the card counter, and it's kind of frustrating that I didn't, because
I'd say it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
yeah,
It's a good movie, but it's not
Not a
one
classic.
that I love. Yeah.
right.
I don't think it's going to be a classic. I think it'll be like a good one to watch if you like drama films.
I think it's something. I think it's something you can put on like Netflix on a weekend afternoon.
So I
Yeah.
saw this. I saw this at my local theater, my local indie theater, Kew Garden Cinema. Shout out. And then afterwards, the woman who was basically there at the end of the screen, who worked there, said, "So how was it?" It's like, it's okay. If you're an Oscar Isaac fan, you'll love it. So I think that's my mini review. But yeah, I say see the card counter. Again, Oscar Isaac, fantastic actor. I don't think he can do any wrong. He's just that good.
No, I mean, he's not like, I mean, I don't know if he's really considered a movie star, but definitely someone I would go out, but he's probably one of the few actors that in this day and age, that I would go out of my way to watch anything he does.
Yeah, I think his stock is definitely rising in Hollywood. Like you see like the kind of movie roles he's getting.
Yeah. Inside Llewyn Davis is probably his best work, I'd say.
I agree.
Though A Most Violent Year, it's up there too.
Yeah.
But I'm still waiting like for his shining moment, like his big role. I think he that's going to happen soon, I hope. We shall see. And he might be the next De Niro, who knows? He's got that essence, that quality, that it quality. But all right, card counter. Let's see. So the card counter is now playing in theaters. So check that out. And now, guys, I wanted to review this next movie. It came across my radar. It's called In the Soup, and it's actually from 1992. And this is basically part of a screening series on the platform Film Movement Plus. And it's part of the Alexandre Rockwell collection, now streaming on the SVOD service through Film Movement Plus. The collection features 4 of the Sundance Grand Jury winners' indie darlings, including Alexandre Rockwell's 1982 debut Lens, In the Soup, which is what we're going to speak about in 1 minute, from 1992, starring Steve Buscemi and Seymour Cassel. The other films in the series are 1983's Hero and 2013's Little Feat, all from the direction of Alexandre Rockwell. And In the Soup, guys, 1992. What a year! What a time for independent film.
Oh yeah. Well, the '90s in general was the golden age for indie. Was the golden age of indie film.
And what a year for Steve Buscemi, because you've got this film, In the Soup, also Reservoir Dogs, 2 of his best films. Let's get into In the Soup, because this movie was very interesting. It's about a struggling screenwriter who he can't sell his script anywhere. It's a 500-page script. It's called Unconditional Surrender, and he puts out an ad, I think in the paper, basically buy my script, and he gets a response from a gangster played by the great Seymour Castle. Thank you. And basically these 2 misfits join forces and try to get this movie made. Jennifer Beals plays the literal girl next door, who Buscemi wants to cast in his movie as the star. And along the way, crazy stuff happens. Buscemi's character was Adolfo, excuse me, gets involved with Joe, the gangster, and it's just such a quirky, offbeat film. It's hilarious. It's kind of tense at times, but it's really about Buscemi and Castle and how these two great actors work together in such a, and also we've got a really great supporting cast too. Aside from Jennifer Beals, we've got Will Patton, Jim Jarmusch, Carol Kane,
Stanley Tucci,
Debbie Mazar, and
Sam
Rockwell. It's like when I saw him, I was like, "This is okay. This is going to be an interesting film."
Just only 2 years removed from his breakout role in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I know. He was a young actor back then, and he was picking some interesting roles.
Yep.
So in The Soup, I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I love hearing about films that came out decades ago, and I just really enjoyed this one. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought Buscemi was perfect. I love seeing him in a lead role, because nowadays you kind of just see him in a supporting capacity.
Yeah,
he can carry a film well, and this was just a fun one. Forrest, what do you think of In the Soup?
Oh boy, I think this is a movie that definitely. I think as someone who was active in the indie film, as someone who's active in the indie film world, like on the production side of things, this movie definitely I think this movie will definitely I think it resonates for anybody who's works in film and wants to make a movie. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's a movie. I definitely found it. I mean, it's not 100% relatable, but I think it definitely. I think for anybody, like I said, anybody who wants to make a movie or works in film, it'll definitely resonate on some level.
Yeah. So it struck a chord with you in a positive.
Yeah, and well, okay. So with this movie and the next movie we're going to review, although it is a little so in this movie's case, Jennifer Beals, a little jarring to hear her try to do a Bronx accent.
Yeah. I mean,
she's a great actress, but it's it's not used to hearing her do accents in roles.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really seen much of her work. I haven't even seen Flashdance, but I did see Vampire's Kiss, which I thought she was wonderful in. I definitely have to see Flashdance though, but she's just a beautiful, very talented actress, and she's great. CJ, what did you think of In the Soup?
I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure what it was going into it, but I loved a lot of the cast, and I really like how it starts off with that the indie director feel, and it seems almost like the way it's shot, it's like almost intentionally done where it looks like it's going to be one of those student films where it might be a little pretentious in how it goes, because that's how it portrays Adolfo as the main character. But it's very self-aware. I love the fact that it's about this guy who keeps saying how he wants to be a screenwriter, he wants to make movies, but he creates a script that's literally unfilmable. And the movie just keeps addressing the fact that this is an unmanageable thing he's trying to do, and it's the dumbest possible way to do it.
So did you relate to Adolfo?
I mean, a bit, as in a guy who wants to write movies. I can relate to that, although he's a bit more of a starving artist than I am.
Yes, I think that's where I don't relate to him, or I didn't relate to him.
Okay. Interesting.
Obviously the poverty's played up in the crappy apartment and everything.
I mean, if this movie were made now, he'd probably be panhandling in the subways.
Probably, or on Craigslist or something. Well, what blew me away though, I mean, the acting, the cast, the supporting cast. It had Will Patton, who I know best from Armageddon, also Remember the Titans.
Mhm.
But in this, he was totally nuts. He was like this unhinged gangster goon. And, I wanted more scenes with him, actually. Same with Sam Rockwell's character, who played this
Yeah.
younger brother of Jennifer Beals' character.
And he did frequent.
Yeah. Sorry.
I would say actually interesting. I believe it was Beal. I think it was Beals. Yeah, it was Beals who introduced Rockwell to Sam Rockwell to Alexander, and they've been working together frequently. And the two of them have been working together frequently since.
I like to hear that. I love collaborations that last, decades. Yeah. That's cool. I'm definitely going to check out more of Alexandre Rockwell's work, because this is just a wonderful way to just get your feet wet in his directorial style. He is an auteur. I could tell already. He's definitely got a very strong visual style, and I just want to see more. I'm definitely going to check out his other films in the series. So yeah, guys. Forrest, would you recommend In the Soup to people?
I think so. I think I would.
Nice. CJ?
I think, yeah, I definitely recommend it. It was a fun comedy. It's fun going to see a lot of these actors when they're younger. And I also want to give a special shout out to Jim Jarmusch, which he's only in the movie for one scene, which is disappointing to me, because it's like I was excited when I heard about him, because I love Dead Man. I love a lot of his work. But the thing I love about Jim Jarmusch is his hair. That for the last like 30 years, he's had just this big swath of like pure white hair.
Stay up, I want to know.
And he's almost 70. Almost 70.
Like, that's the thing. It's like I know him from like his recent stuff, or like I've seen him in interviews and things like that. I'm like, okay, that's a good look. He really grew into that. And then seeing in the 90s, he had hair like that. So it's like, was his hair anything other than white for his entire life? Like, I could see him as a child having like the pure white kind of pompadour and just walking around like that.
They would make a biopic about him.
That's how they got to do it. They have to.
It's like Eraserhead meets Cosmo Kramer. It
really is.
It's crazy.
Definitely. With I would say maybe with Billy Idol thrown in too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Cool, guys. Are you guys Steve Buscemi fans, CJ?
Oh, I love Steve Buscemi. He's a great actor.
Actually, I'm not sure if it's Buscemi or Buscemi.
I think I always say Buscemi.
I always just said Buscemi. If it's something different, then I've just never known.
But yeah, I always look forward to his. It doesn't matter how big or small the role is. I always look forward to seeing him on screen, especially in like I would say Boardwalk as Nucky Thompson on Boardwalk Empire. Phenomenal. Fargo. I would say anything he does with the Coens, really. Fargo, Lebowski. Even his supporting roles in Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, he's in like he's like in all of his early ones.
All of his Happy Madison movies. Also, and before Happy Madison, when they were in Airheads with Brendan and Fraser.
Good movie. Yep. That's a movie with another phenomenal cast. Ernie Hudson's in it as well.
Chris Farley,
Michael Richards, Michael McKean. Yeah, it's just the list goes on, and that's a fun one. I think we might have to do a feature-length commentary on that at some point.
I'm a big metal fan, so you have to get me in on that one.
Of course, Forrest, of course. So yeah, guys, after seeing In the Soup, are you tempted to check out more of Rockwell's films, Forrest?
Possibly. They have to go browse around to browse around and find where I can watch them. And it's probably have to be something that I really have to be in the mood to watch.
Yeah. I figured with In the Soup, like this fit my mood as soon as I saw the title and read the synopsis. I was in the mood to see that title.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I love gritty New York dramas or dramedies. And I love Buscemi. So it was like good timing on my part, I must say. And I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. It's a great film. All right, guys. So that is In the Soup. And like I said, it is now streaming on Film Movement Plus, part of the Alexandre Rockwell collection. So check that out. All right, guys, so we're just going to take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with our final film review of the evening right after this.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending, interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Randy Young here, Under the Radar. And we have one more film review left. And this one was, well, it was pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. It's called Worth. It's currently streaming on Netflix. Stars Michael Keaton as Kenneth Feinberg, a lawyer who is given the opportunity, the task really, of compensating victims of September 11th. Very timely that this film was just released. September 11th was this past weekend, and this film coincided with that horrible day. But this film is really good. It's Michael Keaton's character of Kenneth Feinberg basically is tasked by compensating victims of 9/11 monetarily, and he's basically the whole question this movie raises, which is based on a book by Feinberg. What is life worth? And so it's very controversial because human life. What is it worth monetarily? It's kind of a strange thing. But this man Feinberg, he went about doing that and compensated numerous families after this tragic event. Michael Keaton is superb. I love seeing him in a lead role, especially in a biopic such as this about actual events. It really feels real because it is real. And it's not heavy hitting, even though it is about 9/11. But it's a decent film that just delves into this occurrence of compensating the families. It's also got a very good supporting cast. Also, Stanley Tucci is in this from In the Soup.
Again, yep.
Yep. Coincidence there. We've also got Amy Ryan, who's great. What was the movie? Was it Gone Baby Gone that she was? I have to check me on that one. But she's great. Love her in The Office. Tate Donovan's in it.
There's a face I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah. So yeah, basically it's inspired by true events, and it is, like I said, it's great to see Keaton in a starring role. He's my second favorite actor after Tom Hanks, so it's great to see him. Ever since Birdman, basically, he's had this renaissance in his career, and he's getting some really meaty roles. Last week we reviewed The Protege, which was a really good assassin action thriller, which I recommend you guys go check out.
Yeah, I still got to see that one.
Yeah, Keaton's in that. He plays an assassin. It's great. He's great in this too. Obviously, I love his past work, and I want to see him again don the cape and cowl as Batman,
which we will be doing next year.
Yes. So it's good stuff. But yeah, Keaton's great. This movie is really good. It's on Netflix. CJ, what were your thoughts on Worth?
This was a really hard movie to get through, I'll be honest, just because everything that's been going on lately with the anniversary of 9/11 then, and also the pandemic we've been in the last year and a half, everything happening. But
Right.
I thought I could get through that. And then when it got to like, oh, it's about trying to figure out how much someone's life is worth. And it's like, that's literally what I'm going through. My father passed away in March, and it's literally been seeing like how much is like, do companies think he's worth that they're paying out to us, me and my brother, as the only surviving family members, and not as much as they should be. We're fighting them on his pension. They're saying we're not entitled to getting that, and it's a thing we have to go with, and we have to talk to other places. So it's very nice to see a movie where the people who are in charge are like, we're going to try and be humane about this, or learn the lesson of like, we need to look at people as not just numbers but people.
Yeah.
So the movie is great for that. Not very much the same thing in reality, of course, when
Yeah.
people get involved in things like that. So
Right.
it was a great movie, though.
Yeah. And I just love the ethical dilemma, of human life and money, and how those two things kind of intersect, and which one is more important, and how do you weigh human life? So it's a very, very interesting moral dilemma that they pose. Forrest, what were your thoughts on the film?
Yeah, I have to agree. This was definitely a hard one to get through. Given the time, it's the time, the time, given the timing that we were watching it between, the 9/11 20th anniversary. I actually do have a family member who was with the NYPD when it happened. And he was at ground zero. He was the first. My uncle was actually I have an uncle who was with the NYPD. He was a first responder, and after 9/11, he had some breathing breathing problems.
Wow.
I'm not sure so I'm not exactly sure all the details. But I know he definitely developed had some health problems afterward. And I remember for years, Jon Stewart was trying to get I remember seeing Jon Stewart on TV trying to get get the first responders, and everybody make sure that they were make sure they were compensated. That was that was kind of my first remember the first time I remember getting attention, seeing this issue get attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it was interesting seeing this moral dilemma of human life versus monetary value. And this trying not, he's Michael Keaton, his character's trying to get at first he seems like he comes across as a bit like his character, like when he's talking to all these people, he comes across as I guess, I don't know if impersonal is the word, but cold, yeah.
A little cold.
Yeah, I think he's definitely impersonal to start, just because this is the kind of thing he does for a living, it seems like, for how you deal with legal things like this. But dealing with an event like this, you see how he's not prepared for the emotional toll that goes into it.
Yeah. And I think there's a line halfway through the film where he's addressing, I think, Amy Ryan, and he says, we're not therapists, we're lawyers.
Yep. I guess my issue is it's kind of the same one that I had with Jennifer Beals in The Soup. It's hearing him doing it. It's like hearing Keaton doing
yeah.
Here he's trying to do it. And here he's doing a New England accent.
Oh yeah.
And it's a little. I mean, I'm not saying it's horrible, but it's just very jarring to hear him do a New England accent.
It's a little forced. But,
yeah.
I love the man. I love his work. So I overlooked that little detail. And he looks. I saw a picture of the actual Feinberg. Looks nothing like Michael Keaton.
No.
At all. But I don't know. I don't think I could think of a better actor off the top of my head anyway. I thought he nailed it. I thought he was fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be a contender for some serious awards.
I could see a nomination for Keaton. Yeah. Maybe even Amy Ryan. So yeah. CJ, what do you think of Keaton's renaissance since Birdman?
I think it's been pretty good. I've always liked him as an actor when he shows up in things. I loved him as the Vulture in the Spider-Man movie they did, Homecoming. Like, because I thought like you can't really do a good Vulture one. That's the movie Sam Raimi always wanted to make. Was he made the first three, and
Hmm.
when he wanted to make Spider-Man 4, he said, "I want to do the Vulture," and the studio says, "Do any villain but the Vulture." So he quit. And
Really?
it's nice to see that like Michael Keaton had nailed the role.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, he was again brilliant.
Granted, I had when that came out, I was trying to wrap my head around him going from being a superhero to a supervillain.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But he's just a great guy. He has a lot of charisma to him. He's always very likable no matter what he does.
Yeah, for sure. Forrest, favorite Keaton film?
Besides Batman or Beetlejuice, or
Oh, well,
maybe favorite Renaissance Keaton Renaissance,
or no, I mean, he did a few decent movies after Batman Returns.
Oh yeah. I would definitely say Birdman. I think he got robbed. To this day, I think he got robbed for Best Actor on that one.
Right.
But you know what? Okay, so
Hmm.
one thing I've always wanted to do, because he made that movie, The Founder, about Ray Kroc, the man who made McDonald's like
Good movie.
a mom and pop burger stand to like a full blown.
That was a good
international
role. That was, yeah.
But what I want to do is I want to watch that movie while drinking out of a McDonald's Batman Returns souvenir cup.
I love it. So many parallels there. It's crazy. Actually, one of my favorite Keaton films is so we did a commentary for this one a couple months ago. I think it was last year even. The Dream Team. I don't know if you guys know about that one.
It was him and Christopher Lloyd, right? There was a couple other big names.
It was Keaton, Christopher Lloyd, Peter Boyle, and Stephen Furst from Animal House. And they play a group of mental patients who go out on a field trip with their doctor, only to find their doctor gets knocked unconscious and taken to a hospital. These four gentlemen basically roam the streets of Manhattan trying to find their doctor. And it's from 1989, same year as Batman. And it's just a fun movie. It's really funny. It's great. I love it.
Actually, now that I think about it, Christopher Lloyd has been he's institutionalized. He's now been on film. He has been institutionalized with Batman, Joker, and Penguin.
I know. And then, of course, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yep.
Classic. I know you reviewed that on Inside Movies.
Inside Movies Galore. Yep.
Awesome. I wish I was there for that, but I was there in spirit because that's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Absolutely.
Won Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, Best Screenplay, 1975. But yeah, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, guys. If you have not seen it,
classic.
You should be ashamed of yourself. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie.
Great film.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest films ever made. So yeah, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I love talking about it. I love thinking about it. It's a great film. CJ, Worth, see it or skip it? Would you recommend it?
I definitely recommend it. It's a bit too timely right now with everything going on.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely a good film. It's just weird seeing because I know 9/11 was a hugely traumatic event. I remember it from my own childhood. And it's a thing we remember every year when it happens. But it's it's a weird time where we're still saying about what a tragedy it was 20 years ago when on the anniversary of it, as more people died from COVID than on 9/11. And that was on the day it came out, yesterday and today, and kind of every day. It's another 9/11's happening. So
right.
It's going to be a very interesting thing to see how America's going to be after this trauma really sinks in.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get past this pandemic soon. But in the meantime, we've got film and each other to support ourselves, and we'll just get through it as best we can. So, Forrest, would you recommend Worth to people?
Absolutely. Although I would agree with Chris. I think it's definitely something that maybe audiences aren't going to want to watch right away, given the timing. But definitely, so I definitely think it eventually needs to be seen.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on the timing here. It's kind of poor taste, I'd say.
I don't think it's poor taste because I'm pretty
Something.
sure they were working on this before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, no.
Although for me, if you ask me, like the most ill-timed 9/11 movie was probably back, to me it was like back in 2006 with World Trade Center and United 93.
Right.
At that time we were only 5 years removed from 9/11, and to me,
Yeah.
I never bothered to watch either movie because I just felt at the time.
Oh, same. I think this is the first like 9/11 movie I've actually watched.
Yeah.
When I heard like what it's about, it's like, okay, this is like it's focusing on the human side of it. It's not about the event or like propaganda for the war and stuff like that. Like I really liked how this was looking at the economic and also just the grieving side of it and how that affects like different people. So I think this movie did a great job kind of handling that essence of the trauma without like exploiting the actual tragedy.
Yeah, it handles it very delicately, and there's a really great scene towards the beginning of Michael Keaton on the train when he first finds out about what's happening. I thought that scene was beautifully done. It was tasteful, and it wasn't heavy-handed, it presented the situation in a very very good way, I must say.
Yeah.
So
I think my only problem with it is that like when I loaded up Worth on Netflix, I hadn't looked up what it was about. I just typed in Worth, it comes up and it's like, okay, there's Michael Keaton in a suit. It comes on, he's right, and it shows that little scene. It's like the advertisement it plays on Netflix, it auto plays, was him on the train, and then you see everyone starts getting calls. I'm like, okay, something's going on. It's like, oh, I was listening to Walkman, so this is a bit of an older movie. It's in the past, and then they look over and see all the smoke over Manhattan. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. So
but it is a really good movie. I will say that.
It's a really good movie with great performances. Also, Stanley Tucci, I just want to mention real quick how great he is.
Oh, he's fantastic.
I think he stole the show. I think he was almost better than Keaton himself. I think they were equal. But yeah, it's just a great film. Just be warned, it deals with 9/11, so proceed with caution. But still a great film. Worth, now on Netflix. All right, guys. So I just want to go down what's coming out this week. We've got first up, Dear Evan Hansen, the new drama musical based on the Broadway play starring Ben Platt. I want to check that out. We're going to be reviewing that in the next few weeks. And if you guys don't know much about it, it is about an anxious, isolated high school student who's aching for understanding and belonging amid the chaos and cruelty of the social media age. He soon embarks on a journey of self-discovery when a letter he wrote for a writing exercise falls into the hands of a grieving couple whose son took his own life. So I've heard great things about this from theater friends. And yeah, we're definitely going to review this soon. It's also got Amy Adams and Julianne Moore. So that should
I always look forward to those two. So
yeah. So that's coming out this week. Also, I'm Your Man. This is a comedy, romance, sci-fi film. Interesting. Apache Junction, which is a Western starring Thomas Jane and Trace Atkins. Saw the poster. It looks like kind of just your run-of-the-mill Western actioner. So that is it. It's a light week, only 3 new releases. So yeah, if any of those interest you, I recommend them. Yeah, so guys, I just want to go around plugs. What's going on? What are we working on? CJ, I think you
I've still got nothing going on. It's been a rough year, like I've said earlier. Like it's been a hard year to try and get any like projects going to really talk about or anything. So I will cede my time to Forrest.
Very good. Well, we hope to hear from you regarding any projects or whatever. I know you're always have something cooking writing wise
in the pipeline. Yeah.
So keep us posted, CJ. Forrest, what's going on with you, sir?
All right, so I got a few things in the going, a few things going on, right? Things in the pipeline. I recently worked on a horror movie called Victim No More, written and directed by Bobby Heckman. That should be coming out. I mean, it's still in production right now, but it should be coming out soon. I signed an NDA, so I can't give too many details on it. Other than it was a pretty fun. It was a pretty fun shoot out in the Hamptons. The final day I was on set was the day that we had that bad rain. We had that bad storm, so it took me 3 hours to get home.
Really bad.
Yeah. And then what else? We also and then also it was Tropical Storm Henry. And then I recently acted in a short film by a studio called Neon Dreams. It's called The Adventures of Cleous and Bob. I play a sketchy government agent. That's currently in post-production. And then last week I was acting in a music video for a local group called Theophobia.
All right.
That video should be coming out. And that video should be coming. They're expecting it to come out this month, but whenever it's ready, I will definitely be sharing it with you guys.
Theophobia, was it?
The name of the group is Theophobia.
Okay.
And the video was directed by Dylan Mars Greenberg, who's also the vocalist for the group.
Oh wow. Was that in Manhattan?
Yep, we filmed it all in the East Village.
How was that?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know you've done a lot of background work, right?
Like I've worked crew. On Victor Noir, I worked crew.
Okay.
And then the short film and this music video, I was acting in both of them.
Awesome. I love it. That's great, man. Happy to see that you're active, in the film scene.
New York, the New York indie film community.
Yeah, I love that. Also, guys, I just wanted to go back a little bit to the new releases. Are any of these three movies, do any of these interest you? Dear Evan Hansen, or I'm Your Man, or Apache Junction, the Western? Just curious.
What was that one with Amy Adams and Julianne Moore? I always look forward to
That's Dear Evan Hansen. That's the big one.
Yeah, that one I might check out.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about the play, but it's like I know nothing of what it's about. So
okay. Well, I was just curious if you guys were interested, but
I haven't heard anything on the other two, so I'll have to see.
I won't say though that I did recently catch a screening of a movie called it was a movie called Death Rider in the House of Vampires. It's written and directed by punk and metal singer Glenn Danzig.
okay.
I swear to God, like people think, like Rob Zombie gets a lot of flack for his directorial efforts. But Danzig is kind of like I would say he makes Rob Zombie look like George Romero. Like he's got more, like I would say in terms of directing, he's got more in common with Tommy Wiseau. With this movie, he was able to still score some names in the cast, including Danny Trejo, Fred Armisen, whom I swear he was only in this movie as a favor for Danzig's appearance on Portlandia.
Hey guys, so we're almost out of time here, but I just want to ask you real quick. It's less than a month away, but are you guys planning on going to New York Comic-Con this year? CJ?
This year, probably not. Now with COVID still kind of really up there in terms of infection rates, even around here. Like it's probably going to be maybe next year if things calm down, but that still seems dicey at this point to say COVID will be gone by this time next year. So we'll see.
You're right. Understood. Forrest, yeah.
Wait, when's Comic-Con this year? It's
October 7th through the 10th, I'd say. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I might not. I probably won't be around. I'm going to be going out of town quite a bit next month.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I'm going to be there, and should be fun. Excited to see it. All the sights and the people, and hopefully it'll be safe. It should be. All right, guys. So that about does it. CJ and Forrest, thank you so much for this. You guys are always welcome. This is a great show as always. And I just want to remind people, if you haven't done so already, feel free to go to the Under the Radar YouTube channel, subscribe and share. We also have new episodes up on Manhattan Neighborhood Network every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So check that out. I want to thank everyone watching at home and on your devices. I'm Randy Younger. This has been Under the Radar. We'll see you next time. Take care.